Who is Bruce Lee? Bruce Lee was born on November 27, 1940 in Chinatown at Jackson Street Hospital in San Francisco, California, United States of America. His parents were Lee Ho-H Chen and Grace Ho. Lee's father was a Chinese actor and comedian. When Bruce Lee was born, his parents were on tour in America. His parents gave him the name Lee Jianfan, which is his full name. The name Bruce was given to him by a nurse at the hospital when he was born. He didn't use Bruce until he started to learn English and in secondary school. Lee had 3 older siblings, Phoebe, Agnes, and Peter, and 1 younger sibling named Robert. When Bruce Lee was only 3 months old, his parents moved him back to Hong Kong. When Bruce was young, he wasn't a strong child. It may have been to the fact that he faced a long sail to Hong Kong and experiencing different types of weather along the way. When Bruce Lee was 13 years old, he began to study Kung Fu. His master was Master Yip Man, a teacher of the Wing Chun style. By the time he was in high school, he was doing extremely hard training. He won an inter-school boxing championship against an English student. There was to be no kicking, and they used the rules of Marquis of Queensberry. In 1958, Lee won the Hong Kong Cha-Cha Championship. Lee did mainly 3 things: dancing, kung fu, and acting. When he was just 18, Lee had already been in 20 films. Bruce Lee didn't officially graduate high school. His family decided it was time for him to go back to America. In April of 1959, Bruce Lee took a boat with $100 in his pocket to San Francisco, California. When Lee arrived in America, he didn't stay very long in San Francisco. He moved to Seattle, Washington to work at a family friend's restaurant. Bruce Lee would eventually put himself through Edison Technical School, and then eventually to the University of Washington, in which he majored in philosophy. He supported himself in school by teaching Kung Fu and doing other jobs. He would teach Kung Fu in open places like garage or parking lots. Bruce Lee opened a Kung Fu school on 8th Street in Chinatown in Seattle. He called his school Jianfan Kung Fu Institute. Some of his students were Jesse Glover, Taki Kimura, and Linda Emery. He later opened another Kung Fu school with James Lee and the 3rd school with Dan Inosanto. In 1964, Bruce Lee married Linda Emery. They had 2 kids, Brandon Bruce Lee, who was born on February 1st, 1965. Sadly, Bruce Lee's father died a week later. Brandon died on March 1st, 1993, while shooting a movie. They also had a daughter named Shandon Marie Lee. In 1964, Ed Parker invited Bruce Lee to Parker's first international karate tournament to give a demonstration. It always pays to do your best because you never know who is watching. There was a celebrity hairstylist named Jay Sebring. Jay was doing William Dozer's hair, the narrator of the original Batman, and told him that he was looking for someone to play Charlie Chan's son in the TV show Number One Son. In 1966, The Green Hornet was aired. Bruce Lee played the part as Kato, the sidekick of the Green Hornet. He made roughly around $313 a week. Lee was so fast that when they had fight scenes, the cameras couldn't see him, so he had to slow down. In 1970, Bruce Lee damaged his 4th cervical nerve in his back during a morning workout. He was on bed rest for 6 months. He eventually regained his strength and continued to play in movies such as Game of Death, The Way of the Dragon, and Enter the Dragon. Sadly, on June 20th, 1973, Bruce Lee died before he could see his movie that he produced. In my book, he was the greatest fighter who ever lived, even better than Chuck Norris, and his martial arts of Jeet Kune Do, or the way of the intersecting fist, still lives on.